Usually people around the world will greet each other with something close to or equivalent of "How are you?" or "Are you well?" Or they might even make a remark about the weather. And if they're British, they'll definitely complain. But when a Chinese person bumps into another Chinese person, they usually ask, "Have you eaten? 你吃饭了没?" And of course, the excuse of having a special occasion is not a chance they will pass up lightly, much less those that are named after food. So on that note, open wide. I hope you brought your appetite, because it's time to once again open China. Now, before we get into the festivals themselves, it's really good to know where they come from. In other countries, the calendar is often dated from that famous bearded chap who wears sandals, his birthday. However, there's another calendar which is known to predate this system by at least 800 years, and it follows very closely the orbit of the moon around the Earth. And of course, it's known as the lunar calendar. Now, in Harry Potter, the kindly Professor Lupin transforms into a fearsome wolf underneath the round moon, a full moon of the night. However, in China, the moon is viewed as growing ever more full and round as it reaches the zenith of its waxing phase, much like a satisfied round belly. So surely it must be no coincidence that China's main festivals are held during the full moon. Now, the first of our delicious festivals today is known as Yuan Xiao, held during the springtime on the first full moon of the new year, and also marks the end of the spring festival. Now, on this day, it's highly important to eat a dish of what's known as Yuan Xiao. They're a kind of rice ball that come with or without all manner of different fillings, from sesame to chocolate to red bean and more. So I think it's only right that I try. I mean, they're just there, right? It would be a waste. They're like little eggs, about the size of egg yolks. Let's put this in here, let's see here. Very sticky, wow, really sticky. And I'm worried if I squeeze it too much, it might pop. Okay, let's see what's in this one. Oh, that's quite sweet. I'm not quite sure what that is. It's almost like some kind of honey or syrup substance. But that is very much a firm favourite with children. Now, moving on, the first major festival of the summer season is Dragon Boat Festival, and you may well have heard of this one. In Chinese, it's known as Duanwujie, and the Duan comes from Kai Duan, which means to start, a beginning, or to set out. And the Wu means noon, so the high noon, the heat of the sun, that's when it's hottest. So if you haven't already put those two together, then I can tell you it means the start of the summer heat. No confusion there. During Dragon Boat Festival, there are all kinds of ways to celebrate, and in different places it varies. The one thing that takes place regardless of location is, you guessed it, eating. And specifically, eating something known as zongzi. Can you say it? Zongzi. Actually, for many non-Chinese trying a zongzi for the first time, it's tempting just to bite into it, but it's not a burger! Those are leaves on the outside, and they come from reeds or bamboo. Let's have a look inside. Now, what you'll find in breaking them open is they're filled with cooked rice placed inside. I can taste this one is savoury already, but let's give it a try. Chopsticks are not going to help me here. I'm just going to have to bite straight into it. And I think there's a little bit of pork in there, cured pork. It's a slightly salty, smoky taste. Now, some zongzi taste sweet, some taste salty. Whatever you choose, it's always a good source of rivalry and humour between Chinese who live to the north and south of the country. In China, it's not truly a festival without some kind of food. Only then can you say you've truly felt China in your stomach and in your heart.